platforms. And of course, later in the course of the program, I'll give you, our listener, an opportunity to call in and interact with our guest. Not forgetting that other social media platform that we are live on is our Facebook page, which is 5FM Radio Zambia. We are also on our YouTube handle. That's 5FM Radio Zambia. Not forgetting that you can come on many other online platforms such as Radio Box, Radio Garden. Those are just a few that we are also live on. I'm your host, Zachariah Banda. Now, today our guest is Professor Daniel Pule. You all know him as Dan Pule. And of course, he is a chairperson of the Tonse Alliance. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful for this invitation. And good morning, dear listeners.
Great. It's a pleasure to have you on this program. And I must confess that it is the first time that I'm actually hosting you or interviewing you. I know that you have featured on this program, but of course, not interviewed by me. So it's a great pleasure to also host you today.
Thank you, Zach, and I'm glad to be here. It's nice to be interviewed by a nice-looking young man.
Thank you.
I do listen to your program from time to time.
Thank you.
I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to be here.
Great.
In person myself.
Great. Well, you know that we have a lot of burning issues today, and I think that we will be also, dwelling more on just how the UPND has performed so far, but that is for later. But we want to get into the nitty-gritties, considering that you are chairperson of the Tonse Alliance, which is still remains a very controversial issues that indeed surround your alliance. Now, first things first, just give us a bit of the genesis of Tonse Alliance.
Besides being the interim chairman of Tonse Alliance, I am also the president of the Christian Democratic Party.
That's right.
I think I'm
also a party that's
a member in Tonse.
That's right.
And the Christian Democratic Party held its annual, not annual really,
the convention.
The convention.
Yeah.
Normally called convention, but we call it Congress.
Right.
Here in Lusaka about 3 weeks ago, and I'm glad to report to the nation, as I've done before, that the convention went very well.
Right.
I was re-elected as
party president,
and of course mandated to run as a presidential candidate in the fourth coming election.
That's right.
And that is a mandate that I have from my party.
Right.
Now, Christian Democratic Party, we have strong biblical values. We are not a religious organization, but a political party that has its foundation in the principles of the Bible. All are welcome, non-Christians as well as, of course, Christians. And it's very, very important to encourage Christians to participate in politics. Someone did say, Zach, that, people say politics are dirty. But that's why we, the Christians, need to get in and provide
sanity.
Sanity, and clean it up, if you like, so that what we say is what we do, and what we do is what we say.
Right.
What we plan to do is what we tell the people we are going to do, and we do what we have promised. So let me give that background.
Right.
And the Christian Democratic Party was initially part of the United Kwacha Alliance. And you might recall our support, myself and my colleague Sean Tembo, because of our support for the candidature of our late President ECL,
right.
President Edika Chagwa-Lungu, we were expelled from Woka. And following that, we stepped out and agreed that we should form an alternative alliance. And we teamed up with, the president's former advisor, none other than Dr. Zumani, who's an accomplished political scientist and advisor. And so together, before I came on the scene to work with Sean Tembo and
ECL.
Their advisor to ECL, Dr.
Zuman.
Zimba, they began to work on the paperwork, but I was in the background. And when the right time came, ECL did advise that there were 3 people he wanted to work with who were in UCA at that time. That was Sean Tembo, the late Nawakwi, and of course myself. And he did, while he, in the interim period, advised that I become the chairman of, the Tonse Alliance interim chairman.
Right.
Warming up the seat, as they say, for his coming. When we launched the alliance in November 2023, we actually unveiled ECL himself as our chairman and presidential candidate. It was at that point that we agreed I become his vice chairman, the vice chairman of the alliance. Now, the alliance did well. We participated immediately after the launch in the Kawamba by-election, and we actually performed very well. We believe that if there was fair play, we could have won those elections in Kawamba. Likewise in Pambashe, the 2 Kawamba seats that were declared vacant as a result of the incarceration of the members of parliament there, Honorable Chitotela and the Honorable
Malanji, as well as...
It's Chitotela and I've forgotten his name. The member of parliament for Kawamba, Chitotela, Honorable Chitotela was a member for Pambashe. Anyway, the idea was, Tonse was the hope of the people, and it still is. As long as the Lord gives me breath, I'll fight to make sure that Tonse Alliance continues to grow and remain strong and participate in the 2026, August 26 presidential and general elections. And there's no question about that. We are going to participate in the 2026 general elections. I will appeal to everybody that plan to participate in those elections, whether at parliamentary level, council level, mayoral elections, council chairman or councillors, to contact us, because Tonse Alliance, we have already begun to recruit our candidates. I want to say also that our Congress to elect the chairman and therefore presidential candidate is taking place this weekend, and we are set. Although we are aware that there are maneuvers by our opponents from the PF faction to try and interfere with our arrangement, that will not work. But we are going ahead. Saturday, 31st January is the date for our convention to elect our flag carrier. I am one of the 2 that are contesting that leadership position in Tonse Alliance. My brother, young brother, Brian Munduvile is the other contestant.
Now, we'll come back to that, especially the fact that there will be that happening soon. But
yes,
what we would like, first of all, Professor Dan Pule, to get into is there is a lot of tension right now. And Alliance is faced with internal conflicts and disagreements. And particularly this, I know that the tension and disagreements particularly started after the passing of former President Edgar Lungu. How is then the alliance working to address these challenges and to probably try and maintain peace and unity among member parties? After the demise of the former president, like I earlier alluded to, we saw disagreements and internal wrangles begin, which led to, I think, one of the first political parties to leave the alliance was the NCP. Which I'm now aware that it has been reinstated by the other faction. What really transpired after the demise of the former president, really leading into wrangles?
Thank you so much for that question. I trust you give me ample time
Please
to give the genesis of Tonse Alliance leadership squabbles and what has since transpired.
Right.
Transpired since that time. Now, in January of last year, President Eddie Kalungu was rushed to South Africa for treatment. When he left, I was the acting chairman of Tonse Alliance. I actually chaired 2 of those meetings afterwards and received new members during that time.
Right.
One of the political parties that joined in the absence of President Lungu was the KBF's ZMP.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and there are other organizations that joined at that time. Now, there was no problem as long as I was in the country. I chaired 2 of those meetings that were held. That is a camp leaders meeting.
That's right.
Tonse leaders, Council of Leaders is the executive committee of Tonse, or organ of Tonse.
Right.
We have the executive committee called the Tonse Council of Leaders. We also have the National Congress, which is the main organ. That's what is meeting this. Now, unfortunately, I had for medical checkup. Okay, I had prostate issues which needed to be checked.
Right.
And indeed, I stayed for 2 months in India. And during my absence, and that of course, our chairman,
yes,
there was a leadership vacuum. There were many of those who felt that, according to our constitution, any leadership meeting that would be called would be chaired by one of the members of the Council of Leaders, elected by for that purpose, only for that meeting.
Right.
However, our colleagues in the PF felt that since they were the leading so-called anchor party,
right,
they decided to impose themselves on the leadership of Tonse Alliance. Of course, there was a talk of the fact that President ECL had authorized that issue to be resolved that way. But that was in my absence anyway. But when I came back, there was now an issue as to whether I should resume the acting chairmanship of the alliance. And of course, my brother, friend, Honorable Given Luvinda, and the PF felt that he should continue as the chairman and the acting leader of the alliance.
Right.
But then there were strong positions taken by those who really felt strong. I can mention Honorable President Sean Tembo, Dr. Chris Zumani, as well as KBF. And to an extent, President Chifumu Banda felt that the legal position, as the State Council Chifumu Banda, the legal position was that I was the right person to act as chairman of the Tonse Alliance.
Right.
However, there was that conflict. So about a month passed when we were handling those issues, and so meetings could not be held. There were meetings that we called, and I chaired them. I remember one of those meetings I chaired, and the others didn't come.
But was it true that Patriotic Front was the anchor party of the Tonse Alliance?
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
I'll come to that
right.
shortly. And in the process, we just shortly after the demise of President Edgar Lungu.
Right.
May his soul rest in peace. And we are sad that still his remains are not yet interned, that is not yet buried, which issue I would appeal to the government and the family to come to an understanding so that that issue can be resolved as a family.
Right.
We as Christian Democratic Party, we do not believe in violence and politics of insults or politics of vindictiveness. I believe that it will be a good thing if the matter is resolved so that our president is laid to rest before the general elections, or else when we win as Tonse Alliance, we will ensure that that matter shall be given priority to make sure that his mortal remains are put to rest. Now, let's come back to the issue of leadership.
Yeah.
When Honorable Lubinda visited me at my house, I was glad to receive him. He was accompanied by two other men, and we talked. My position was, for the sake of unity in the alliance, let us co-chair the alliance.
Right.
We be co-chairs. At that point, my brother said, you know what? We need to call the alliance to meet together, the council of leaders, so that they brief you what they had decided. I did know what he meant. What he meant was that he didn't want us to co-chair the meetings or to share the chairmanship of the alliance. However, there were the problems deepened. If I'd been a person, if I'd not been a man of peace, we would have there would have been serious divisions, because there were those who actually felt we should hold a meeting under my leadership at which we should choose a chairman and presidential candidate, and then the other people would have been irrelevant at that time. However, I felt that we needed to talk to each other. I made up my mind when a team that was appointed by the Patriotic Front, Secretary General, as well as Acting President Honorable Given Lubinda, came to see me. These were, by the way, Honorable Peter Sinkamba, who has since left the alliance, and Professor Nelson Ngoma,
Yeah.
accompanied by Sylvia, one of the leaders of the Patriotic Front, Sylvia Charikosa. Yeah. Okay, so they came to see me, and I suggested what my position was. I distanced myself from those squabbles of the one side, the Luvinda Nakachinda group and Sean Tembo and the Zuman group. I said, I am for Tonse Alliance and for the Lord. I stand in the middle to bring peace. So we decided we should meet the two groups separately. Unfortunately, the way it worked, I happened to start with the Lubinda group to make peace. And it was in that meeting that wisdom of the other leaders, including Honorable Frank Ngambi was present in the meeting, Honorable Nakachinda, and the two leaders from People's Pact, President Peter Sinkamba and Professor Nelson Ngoma, prevailed on Honorable Lubinda that we need to co-chair. That was the only way forward. We need to be co-chairman of the alliance until a substantive chairman and the presidential candidate is elected.
Right.
Okay, and after we had that meeting, we actually issued a press release. Now the other group that had met, and again they called a meeting and they wanted me to go and chair, and I knew that that meeting was not going to be held in good faith, because in that meeting they were supposed to actually select a chairman, and I was not consulted as the meeting was called, and I felt that I wasn't just going to rubber stamp other people's decisions. So I didn't go to that meeting. But when the Sean Tembo group and the Zuman group saw that I had held that meeting with
the
head faction of the alliance. They felt that betrayed them, and I was part of that Lubinda group, and therefore they even removed me from the WhatsApp group of the other faction, the Sean Tembo faction. And after that, the rest is history, because we continued to meet with Honorable Lubinda and myself as co-chairman. We held several meetings, made several decisions, but one of the problem was, because of the squabbles in the PF Lubinda faction, those factions were, those squabbles were actually being extended to the alliance. From the time the late president left us as leader of the alliance, we did not hold constructive meetings to make constructive decisions. All the meetings were being held, or that we were holding, were about leadership squabbles. And so there was no progress. Meantime, the alliance was not growing. The PF Secretary General was mandated actually to work with the other Secretary Generals, and were supposed to be meeting regularly. From March, actually from January of last year, when they had made, they held one meeting, I think in February. They held no other meetings. The alliance never took initiative to go in the provinces, because that was, I believe that the Lubinda faction did not want us to go out and mobilize people in the name of the alliance. Of course, you are aware that, first of all, the PF, the Lubinda faction does not have the legal papers for the alliance. For the party, the PF. It's Honorable Chavinga and others who are the leaders of PF in terms of the legal position, and they are the ones who are recognized in Parliament. They are the ones who are recognized at the Register of Societies. Now, when we formed the alliance, President Lungu understood that PF had been hijacked, and that the alliance was the only thing that would hold the opposition together. And we respected his leadership. Unlike in Uka, where I was being insulted and belittled by small young men and women who didn't measure to be his equals. And that's why Shontem and I had to leave. So he understood that. And when he went to Uka, he didn't take the Patriotic Front with him, because he knew that the Patriotic Front had problems, and as a party, it was not under his control. As a result of actually the squabbles within the PF, we had to come back from retirement to try and salvage the situation. The people that now are seemingly to be the champions of fighting us in the Tonse Alliance, namely Mao Sampa, for example, is the one that brought up the confusion. He held a real illegal convention at which was elected president, and then of course he took the Patriotic Front to UPND, and it was afterwards that he was himself kicked out. Now remember this, as the Bible says, you reap what you sow. He had kicked out President Lungu and others, and including President Given Lubinda from the leadership of the real Patriotic Front, and took that party to UPND. But UPND now kicked him out together with Chavinga. As you are aware now, he's been reduced to just a small position of deputy national, general secretary general. And now it's one of those contending that we are an illegal party. Far from the truth. We are the real
Tonse Alliance.
Tonse Alliance. Okay. We are the real Tonse Alliance. President Lungu understood that the PF, as things stand, will not be allowed to be on the ballot paper in the August 2026 general elections, and they should know that. I do not think that although they are fighting, they don't stand a chance to to run, to get back the party in terms of leadership. You know how courts in Zambia work. As long as the state has a hand in the court case, things will not move. Now, we as the Alliance had given the Patriotic Front a deadline that by November they should hold their leadership elections. Okay, and that actually was supposed to happen, but you are aware that Chavinga stopped that convention they were supposed to hold because rightly said you don't have the legal position to hold the alliance and the convention, and he put an injunction to that, and it's unlikely that injunction will be removed. So the people within the alliance felt we were losing ground because we were not moving forward because of the squabbles within the Patriotic Front. So 4 of the civil society organizations, 4 leaders from the civil society organizations petitioned the alliance to make changes to the constitution, which included removal of the perceived position of the Patriotic Front faction, within the faction, as the anchor party, which also had 2 things that were agreed upon initially. Was the Patriotic Front were going to provide a presidential candidate, and that candidate was to be President Edgar Kalungu. Now there was a provision that in the event President Edgar Kalungu would not be allowed to run for presidency for 2026, the Patriotic Front will provide a leader. Okay? Now, I'm being factual, and that they were going to be the anchor party. As the anchor party, they were to provide 50% of the leaders of the Tonse Council of Leaders. The constitutional position was that there will be 30 members of the Council of Leaders. Of those 30, they were to provide 15 from the other members of the alliance, other political parties and civil society. Yeah. And we had agreed that the quorum for every meeting would be 15 members of the Council of Leaders present for any meeting to take place. Now, when the for civil society petitioned the alliance to review our arrangement with the Patriotic Front, we were obliged not to ignore those petitions because we had seen we were losing members. For example, the Green Party and the People's Party pulled out, and the UBZ pulled out of that's another political party led by one of our brothers in the nation, and we were pulled out of the alliance. There was even another political party, or People's Congress, that threatened leadership squabble that are being within the alliance through the PF confusion that they were bringing. They would also leave. And we felt that as an alliance, we are losing ground. So a notice was given for a virtual meeting. Before that, we had held 2 virtual meetings in a similar manner, and the notice was just overnight. The day before, a meeting was called to look at the petitions of the 4 civil society organizations. When the time was set, it was not suitable to some of our colleagues who had decided to hold a campaign rally in Chawama. And so the time was 16 hours on a Tuesday, and the campaigns were going on. So there was a petition that, a request that we move the meeting to another day. And then what we decided was actually that we changed the time from 16 hours to 18 hours because we expected at that time those who wanted to attend the meeting would come to attend the meeting. The notice was given by the same man, Dr. Zumani, who had been giving notices before for the other virtual meetings. And so we allowed the Patriotic Front and others who attended that rally, Patriotic Front president and others, to come to the meeting, the virtual meeting. And in a virtual meeting, you could sit in your office and attend it. You could be in your car. I'm aware Honorable Banda often is driven by one or two of the colleagues, and he could still attend. He could have attended if that virtual meeting if he wanted. In fact, some of the people that attended the rally in Chawama actually joined us in the virtual meeting, including the national chairperson of the Patriotic Front, Madam Honorable Jean Kapata. There are others like Ibrahim Mwamba and one of the civil society leaders. He came and attended, several other people, including that meeting was attended by 4 members of parliament, who included Honorable Kampiongo, Honorable Brian Mundubile, Honorable Mutotwe Kafaya, and Honorable Chisanga, who are members of the Central Committee of the PF, who were also seconded to the PF, to the Tonse Alliance, under the leadership of President Lungu. And they continue to be members of the Council of Leaders. At that time, they were members of the Council, the Tonse Council of Leaders. Also, Honorable Davis Mwila, who was a former SG of the PF, attended that meeting. And the meeting was attended by 23 people, out of the 30 members of the council. And so the meeting was, the quorum was well made. The decisions made were binding. It was at that meeting that, of course, we removed the PF as an anchor party, which was not really the anchor party in the Constitution, because in the Constitution, the organization that was recognized was the ECL PF political movement led by President Lungu. That is important. I will explain shortly who are the members of the ECL political movement. And the resolutions were passed. The Patriotic Front was removed as anchor party, and we decided to disassociate ourselves as an alliance from the PF confusion. We said to them, gentlemen, go and solve your problems. We don't, you have delayed us, and we want to progress and move forward. So the Patriotic Front, in the heat of the, we took, a dive, if you like, into the, a plunge, because we were in the middle of the campaigns in Chawama. But the people still believe in Tonse Alliance, and the vehicle we had decided to use was the like we are using in Kasama, FDD. Yeah. That's right, and we won that parliamentary by-election, and we are trusting with the mobilization that we have done as Tonse Alliance, who are campaigning hard in Kasama, that we are going to win the mayoral election in Kasama. That is the goal. And Tonse Alliance, still under my leadership as chairman, remains the biggest alliance in this country. And
how so? Just while you're at it, how so? Because, and I'm asking this question because just yesterday there was a communique from the Tonse Alliance. This time I'll specify the Tonse.
No, that was not from Tonse Alliance.
The faction of the Tonse Alliance. and the reason I'm asking why so, it's simply because when they met, and of course chaired by Given Lubinda, and again that is another Tonse Alliance, well, quote in court.
I'm glad you are saying court in court.
Of course, because because we are right in the middle of all this confusion. But let me suffice to say that yesterday they held a meeting chaired by Given Lubinda, and on the agenda was obviously consideration and admission of new political parties and civil society organizations in the Tonse Alliance. The second was consideration of application for readmission by former members of the alliance. And of course, there was new admissions, and new admissions are listed, if you would like me to state: Resolute Party, Democratic Union, Citizens Democratic Party, Exodus Party for Peace and Prosperity.
Do you know those political parties?
And these are about 11.
Now, have you heard of those political organizations?
These are about 11. But other than that, the readmitted ones are New Congress Party, CP, which was a purpose vehicle at some point of the Tonse Alliance.
After we defeated them, they were so embarrassed. And NCP
and then United for Better Zambia UBZ is equally readmitted.
Well,
now, if I look at these numbers, these are like 11 plus 2, that's 13, plus, oh yes, the Patriotic Front itself of the given Luvinda faction.
Let me answer your question.
In numbers, they look bigger than you are claiming you are in your case.
But you know, we have more actually.
Okay.
We have more in terms of numbers, and at the same time, let me tell you this: that some of those political parties say just individual names, They don't exist. They have not been active. You know, one or two could have been active. Give it to them, the leadership party. That certain political party led by Mr. Robert Mwanza. Mwanza retired from politics. They just picked it up from the dustbin and brought it in. Like, it's a finished organization as a party. They lose credibility. Contested the Chawama by-elections against our country. And they were using the name of the former MP, Tashila Lungu, and of course they were also using the name of the late President Eddie Kalungu. Once again, may he so rest in eternal peace. They were doing that. How many votes did NCP get? If you are, it's 319, okay? And we got 8,050 and beat the ruling party as a Tonse Alliance, led by me after we had expelled the Patriotic Front. You see, the people are with us, okay? You can get names. You can even put 100 non-existent, irrelevant political parties and call themselves, an alliance. But they are irrelevant.
How do you, Professor Pule, let me question a very critical question.
You see, you need to give me time to answer your questions. That organization is an illegal organization. It has no basis. It doesn't affect us. They are trying to interfere even with our Congress. If they know they are the real Tonse, which they are not, they should not be interfering with our Congress. Okay?
Are they?
Yes.
What are they doing?
They're trying to get an injunction. You know, someone has traveled to Mazabuka, sent by Mr. Given Ruvinda and others to go and get an injunction against us. We are aware of that. Okay? They left this morning. There was a notice given to registry there. Whether they are going to Mazabuka or that is just a cover-up, they are doing it in Osaka.
And if they succeed, what do you do?
Well, they can't succeed. On what basis? Even our courts of law, really, they shouldn't entertain non-existent organizations. Even the organization they are trying to use doesn't exist in our knowledge. And then the PF is with Chabinga. The PF is no longer under the control of President Ruvinda. Why are they not fielding candidates? But the PF, if they have control, and the anchor party. They are saying they are now the anchor part of this organization, just imposing themselves.
But they have continued, as it is, as we speak, they have continued to campaign.
You see,
for a candidate who is on FDD in Kasama. No,
let me explain. Now, I told you I needed to have opportunity to explain what the ECL PF political movement is. Those who are in Kasama and those who campaigned for us in Chawama, generally, mostly are the members of the ECL political movement. I'm aware.
Who are those, if you can name a few?
Okay, the ECL political movement. Yes. Let me first mention the groups that belong to the ECL political movement, who are part of Tonse Alliance. That ECL political movement is bigger than the Luvinda PF faction. I want you to know that comprises all former ministers, former cabinet ministers in the PF ECL government. The former MPs and present MPs, all of them, okay, without exception. They are removing other people from other MPs because they voted.
So including Given Lubinda is part of that?
No, he's not. He's a faction leader.
He's a former minister.
Yes,
by virtue of being former minister.
If he comes as an individual, he'll be welcome. You understand that, but not as a faction leader. You should follow that. So the diplomats, former PF diplomats, former commissioners, district commissioners, councillors, former councillors present and past, mayors, as well as former mayors and council chairmen, and all members of the PF who are loyal to ACL. Okay, that is where some people misunderstand that it's only those who are close to ACL. No, those who believe in the ACL vision, they are under the ACL political movement, which is part of a member of the Tonse Alliance, and that is the organization that was recognized even before the Constitution, not the PF faction led by Mr. Lubinda. They were just, trying to masquerade to be part of the Tonse Alliance because of the arrangement we made with President Lungu, who came and believed, he knew that the PF, was a lost cause, and they will not appear on the ballot papers, just like they are not appearing right now on the ballot papers in ballot in Kasama, or the one in Chawama. It is Tonse FDD. The MP that won is an FDD MP. Truth be told, it's not a PF MP.
So how do you explain the fact that FDD is a purpose vehicle now, as we speak, for the Kasama mayoral election?
Yes.
And you have the members of the Lubinda faction campaigning for that candidate.
You tell me.
I think you would agree that.
Tell me which.
You would agree that Honorable Chimbakambwiri is campaigning.
He's a member of the ACL political movement. Not we haven't received him there as a PF leader. We have received him, and we welcomed him in our campaigns.
So all those that are campaigning for the FDD candidate,
yes,
are people who are on the ECL political movement.
Clearly that. Those are people who worked with ECL. Those are people who believe in the ECL.
Do you still allow that they can still remain associated to the Given Lubinda faction? Is that fine?
Well, we have no responsibility over that. The only people that we would ensure that they don't belong to that faction are those 7 whom we have. You see, when we reduced the number of the ACL PF movement, that was from 15 to 7, we actually admitted 7 of them in the Council of Leaders. And those include Honorable Davis Mwila, Honorable Brian Munduvire, Honorable Kampiongo, Honorable George Sanga, Honorable Mutotwe Kafaya. And of course, the chairman of that group is none other Dr. Chris Zumani Zimba, who, you can't doubt him, has been so close.
So now the Given Lubinda faction has equally stated its position that anybody who will be associated with the illegal Tonse, and the illegal in this case, he keeps referring to the Tonse Alliance, which you are chairing, as illegal, and any Patriotic Front member who associates with your Tonse Alliance will be expelled. That is the situation.
Now, tell me.
He has stated to his members.
Consider me as my
No, I'm saying as he referred.
I'm asking you because you called me here. If I was an illegal,
I definitely called you as Tonse Alliance chair.
Now, exactly. I want you to hold on to that position, because the correct position is that the Tonse I'm leading is the correct Tonse. We have all the instruments of power. The Constitution is with us. Those people, they have disregarded even the Constitution. They are talking about terms of reference where the Patriotic Front, is the anchor party within the alliance, which doesn't, you see, the Patriotic Front doesn't exist as a political party, that faction led by Mr. Given Lubinda. It's an illusion. The political party the PF political party that is recognized in this country is led by Mr. Chavinga. That is why, first of all, President Lungu understood that, that if we took PF to Tonse Alliance, PF party or faction that is fighting Mr. Chavinga, Honorable Chavinga, we would have problems in the alliance. Honorable Chavinga could even have taken an injunction on us not to be using Patriotic Front name within the alliance. That is not part of the alliance. Okay. Now the fact is that that group is even the faction doesn't exist. The Patriotic Front led by Mr. Given Rubinda. Okay, he's my friend. It's just that in politics, people can go different ways, and we've gone different ways. There's no way. The PF is not part of the Tonse Alliance. That is an illusion. The real Tonse Alliance is led by me. We have first vice chairman, President State Council Chifu Banda. We have second vice chairman, Mr. KBF, Mr. KBF, you know him, Waliafu.
Yes.
He's Kelvin
Zambia Must Prosper.
Zambia Must Prosper leader. Yes. And we have Zuman as the leader, our coordinator. And we are moving forward. We have done a credible arrangement. The nominations that were done were credible. You see the problem with this, and we are going to elect a leader at the end of this month.
There is, while you are at it, there is word going around that you have systematically strategized and concocted a strategy that you want to see Brian Mundubile as leader of the alliance, because you have decided to single out Brian Mundubile because you feel he has a better following, especially with the Patriotic Front structures, which I'm sure you would like to call the ECL party movement, and you feel he's bringing better numbers, and you feel that the better numbers, you would rather they sit with the FDD because you have already started the movement and using the FDD as the special purpose vehicle. So how do you counter that? Do you take that as an allegation, or indeed you have devised a strategy to see Mundubile onto the ballot box?
Well, you have heard I'm a contender for the chairmanship. And those who think that,
they're saying it's cosmetic. Your being there is cosmetic. The main agenda is you want to handpick. Eventually, in fact, the hidden hand is that you are actually using the hidden hand to put Mundubile on the ballot.
I have no such arrangement with Mundubile. What we have sat together as members of the same alliance, we have agreed if he wins, okay, I'll support him. If I win, he will support me, okay? I'm going nowhere. If I lose,
describe to us how the Congress will be like and who are voting.
Zach, you have given me opportunity to answer. And it's important you give me a chance to explain. Let me explain that there's no concoction of ideas or, playing Mingalato to get Honorable Mundubile as the chairman of
as the presidential
candidate. I am a serious contender. I told you my political party has nominated me to be a presidential candidate. Okay, and I have a base within the alliance. Remember, I am the founding chairman of the alliance. Okay, I have a political party. I believe that I stand a chance of winning, but it's an election. So no one should call our Congress that we are going to hold at this month end cosmetic. That's why Honorable Given's faction is afraid of that. They are trying to interfere. And I pray by the grace of God that their efforts are not going to succeed. We are going to hold our convention at this week, this weekend. We are ahead of them because they don't want to elect a leader. Okay, they don't want to elect a leader. they are trying now to interfere with us. We can't allow that. You see, the indecision of the PF, that is what led to Mao's Sampa faction holding that what they call illegal convention. Yeah. And he became leader of that, was elected at that convention. You know, the problem I think with this faction is that they are always creating factions. They want to create another one. I want the nation to ignore them. They are not Tonse. They are just a PF faction. Yeah. That's all that they are. And they are supporters. They should not call themselves Tonse. We are the real Tonse Alliance. And we are going to the convention. Well, we already have the nominations. I hope you understand that. That's right. Such. Yeah. I'm now coming to answering the question that you posed as I was explaining the real situation. Right. You know, we have an electoral commission comprised of very senior lawyers, okay? Honorable Angola, Honorable Benjamin Mwelwa, Council Angola, Council Benjamin Mwelwa of Mwelwa Pule and partners, Angola and associates for in the case of Senior Council Kamba Angola. We also have an academician, legal academician, Mr. Mwawamshota. Those are the three members of our electoral commission. We announced that those who want to participate at, in the elective elections, they should pay, in the case of the chairmanship, therefore presidential candidate, 50,000 kwacha. Two of us have stepped out, on Mundubil and myself. It's serious. I can't pay 50,000 kwacha playing games. I don't play games like that.
No, but it's because you got too much money. Maybe 50 is nothing to you.
No, I don't have too much money. Everywhere counts, you know. Yeah. Let me hold on. Let me finish this point. And the first vice chairman is a candidate, Honorable State Council Chief Banda, President of FDD. Yes. And we have Dr. Sumani also contesting. The second vice chairperson was won by a lady, president of the New Era Democratic Party, who actually went unopposed. Because of that, she's already elected. So our elections can't be stopped because we have already people are elected. Secondly, since the confusion of the PF, we removed that confusion. People are happy. We've been getting a good feedback from the people. Senior people are saying you did a good job. You are not moving forward. There are people who don't want the PF name. You should understand that. The people remember the problems, cadreism of the PF that Mr. Given's faction has continued to do. Remember when Sean Tembo held his leadership meeting, they went and attacked that. The same cadreism has continued as if they are in the government. And I wonder why they were not arrested, those cadres who went to attack Sean Tembo and the others. Okay, so since they left, we have had new members who have come to join us, new political parties, including New Era Democratic Party, which has come in, two other political parties and eminent individuals, including Senior Council Benjamin Mwelwa and Senior Council Mshota. They have joined to the alliance. So we are moving forward. The nation should ignore all those maneuvering from Mr. Given and others to create another faction. Like they are a faction of the PF, which they know it's a lost cause. They are not. That's why they can't even appear on the ballot paper because they don't have the papers. It's just this country allows some illegality sometimes to persist. That's an illegality for that faction to even call meetings such as they have called and branded it a Tonse Alliance meeting. That's just a PF and their supporters. That's what I want the nation to know. And the real Tonse Alliance is under my leadership. We expelled them. And those people were expelled. They have no legal basis or constitutional basis to hold any meeting of the alliance. And I tell them they should not dare call themselves Tonse Alliance. We are Tonse Alliance. I was the founder leader of Tonse Alliance together with Mr. Zumani, who is still with me. We are the original leaders of Tonse Alliance, and we are continuing in the leadership of the real Tonse Alliance.
This is the Tuesday edition of The Burning Issue here on the Happy World of 5 FM radio, but we are also live on our partner radio stations, Isunga FM, Katete FM, ZFM in Kapiri, Spice FM in Kabwe, Platinum Radio in Indola, not forgetting Tuta FM in Mansa. Isunga FM is in Northern Province, Senga Hill, to be precise, and Katete FM on the Eastern Province, ZFM in Kapiri, Spice FM in Kabwe, Platinum Radio in Indola and covering Copper Belt, and Tuta is in Mansa covering Wapula Province. Our guest this morning is Professor Daniel Pule, or you know him as Professor Dan Pule, and he is chairperson of Tonse Alliance. I will be opening the phone lines pretty soon, Professor, but one quick question before we go to our callers. Our understanding in the past of the Tonse Alliance was that a presidential candidate will come more so from the Council of Leaders, right?
Yes, from the Council of Leaders of Tonse.
That's how we understood Tonse Alliance, especially when it comes to contesting and electing a presidential candidate.
That's good understanding.
Yeah. So what do you make of Brian Mundubile?
Okay.
He is not.
By the way, I'm also chief apostle.
And of course, I know.
You didn't mention that.
I will definitely recognize that, because I was really in the heat of politics, so I wanted to take off that apostle aspect from me, so that I don't give you that much respect when it comes to politics. But nonetheless, I'm cognizant of that.
Very good.
But where do we then place Honorable Mundubile in this case if he's running for as a presidential candidate, yet he is not coming from the Council of Leaders?
Okay, that's your understanding. Let me correct you.
Okay.
Mundubile is a member of the Council of Leaders of Tonse Alliance. Now, Mundubile was appointed by the late president, our late chairman, President ECL, as chairman for parliamentary committee of the Tonse Alliance. And Honorable Banda was the vice chairman of the parliamentary committee. So he has always been a member of the Tonse Alliance Council of Leaders. Now, when we expelled the PF, and people should, if they're indisciplined, they should accept that they are disciplined and they move on. Just like they are fighting with this Chavinga, they're now fighting us. They are going to take, they are trying to take an injunction instead of doing it in Osaka. Yeah. They have rushed from our understanding to Mazavuka and to get, I don't know whether they have a friendly judge there, I don't know what the arrangement where they can take it here. Yeah. I mean, they can
I remember the appointment. I remember the appointment of Honorable Brian Mundubile by late President ECL. What I just didn't know that appointment qualifies him to be among Council of Leaders.
Yes.
I, in my understanding, I've always thought that the Council of Leaders was only presidents of political parties that are members of the Tonse Alliance, but that chairmanship that he was given, I did not know that it qualifies him automatically to get into the Council of Leaders.
He was a member of the Council of Leaders. The Patriotic Front, remember, the PF ECL movement actually had 15 members in the alliance, the original. The current arrangement, in the Council of Leaders, the current arrangement is that we reduce that number to bring a bit of parity to 7 leaders, and at the Congress they are going to come with 7 times 3. My party, the Christian Democratic Party, has now 4 members. Initially, it was only me, but now there are 4 members of the Christian Democratic Party who are members of the Tonse Alliance Council of Leaders. Okay, but at the council, at the Congress, we are going to have 4 by 3, which will be 12 members. Now, I know there has been some contestation as to why Munduvile could come in and be a candidate. Those who are afraid of him have raised that issue. I haven't raised that issue. And of course, I'm not afraid of him. I'm contesting, serious contestation. And they see the results, how it will come out. You know, there's a proverb says that he who puts on an armor should not boast like the one who takes, off his armor. As I'm going to the contesting the presidential candidate or chairmanship of the alliance, I've put on the armor. I'm campaigning. My young brother is also campaigning. But the one God has chosen is going to be the winner in these elections. I like what Honorable Muila said in one of our the last physical meeting we held, is that God knows who is going to be the chairman of the alliance, who will be elected the chairman. I know that. And just like God knows who is going to be the president of Zambia after the August 2026 elections. He knew that in 2021. He knows it way back. Even God knows the one who is going to be our presidential, our president in 2031 after the 2026 winner. So basically we are saying that the Tonse arrangement was agreed by all members who are present, okay? Let me bring up the issue you mentioned of President KBF, okay? Because he has protested that, he's a good brother of mine, we are friends, and he respects me as an elder statesman. I respect him as state council and, one of our leaders in the nation. Honorable KBF was part of the decision that we made. When we removed the PF, he was present in that meeting. He actually became the second vice chairman of the alliance. When we accepted the fact that the PF will come with 7, we will have 7 members of the Council of Leaders, he was there. When we allowed the PF, and we don't have to interfere with each internal decisions of any organization. CDP, for example, decides who is going to represent it in the Council of Leaders. ZMP, led by Wafube, will decide who will represent it in the alliance, just like other political parties. So he was part of that decision. Of course, in the Council of Leaders, he raised the criteria used to bring in on Munduvile and the other 7 members of the Council of Leaders, okay? And the fact is that it was explained, and he sat next to me and I said, have you heard the explanation? Is that all right? He said, that's all right. It was afterwards that we heard in the press that he's not happy with that arrangement and was reviewing his leadership, their membership of the alliance. My advice to him is that, he's a respected leader in the nation. He should be, he should continue with the principal positions that he holds on to the decisions, the collective decision. Because even in his political party, there are decisions which some members may not agree with, just like in cabinet. But once a decision is made, by the way, I have served government once as a minister in the Chiluba government myself, mainly in the Ministry of Finance. I was at one point minister responsible for planning. NCDP was the organization reporting directly to the president, in charge of coordinating donor aid as well as the planning for the government. That was a very important ministry at that time because we were heavily dependent on the donor funding. Yeah. So basically, I'm saying that there is what we call collective responsibility. If you are part of a decision that is made, even if you don't agree with it, when the leadership has been, and the decision has been decided by the leaders, you have to stand with it and go with it, okay? And that's basically what my advice would be for my brother, let him hang around with us. He has, of course, raised those issues, which were already discussed. He raised them in the Council of Leaders, and decisions were made that we needed to allow Honorable Munduvire to contest the elections. I had nothing to do with that. If anything, for me, I would have preferred the three of us contested, because he had the indication were that he was going to be one of the contestants for the chairmanship of the alliance, and it will have been good. But sadly, it didn't apply for participation in those at the Congress.
Let's take phone calls now. We hear from our listeners. We ask that you have your headsets on, and just so that you can get our callers loud and clear. This is the Tuesday edition of The Burning Issue. Our guest is Professor Chief Apostle Danny Pule. He is the chairperson of the Tonse Alliance. And so we'll take your phone calls on 0955 221515. Let's start with this one. Good morning.
Good morning, Zach. Good morning.
You're welcome to the program. Your name, sir, and where are you calling us from?
Sorry, I can't hear anything. Am I putting? Okay.
Can you hear him now?
No, yeah.
Okay, great. Your name is?
My name is
Gabriel. Member of the Central Committee for the Patriotic Front.
Member of the Tonse Council of Leaders, led by Chairman Given.
Interesting. Please.
Hopefully, you allow me a few minutes so that we are a little more exhaustive.
Okay.
I followed the program and the contributions of Professor Banda, and from the onset, I must say that Professor is being, I think, economical with the truth and cherry picking. A bit of background. You know, the Tonse Alliance as an entity had a position of chairman, and the position of chairman is assigned to the institution that is considered to be the anchor party. In this case, the Patriotic Front, not to an individual. That must be made very clear. And because of that, it is the reason why, in the same vein that Professor is acknowledging the appointment of Honorable Brian Munduvire as chairman for parliamentary affairs, in the same vein, everybody should be acknowledging the appointment of President Given to act as chairman in the absence of President of the Government. That appointment was not affecting secret. And it was for clarity, because the position of chairmanship was to the institution. Fast forward, Zumani had no authority whatsoever to call a meeting, because a meeting is supposed to be called by the chairman. But instead, in cahoot and in collusion with Professor Danny Pule and the others, they decided to hold and chair a meeting on the day that we were actually in Shawama to campaign for a candidate that the PS had put on the FDD ticket in Shawama. That itself is better, particularly for people who never even set a foot in Shawama. I've heard Professor Pule claim that under him, the seat in Shawama was won. No, it is under the leadership of President Linda, who was on the ground and everybody saw. Professor Pule is there. He can show you any evidence of where he went, any evidence of how much he contributed, or even an idea on how to win that election did not come from Professor Pule. Fast forward, my brother, is that the same people who came to have kicked out the Patriotic Front, which is the anchor party in that alliance, they should explain to you what criteria did they use to identify those people who they sought to be friendly that came back into that so-called alliance that they are trying to legitimize, and gave them positions on what account. And who in this world gets a member of the Central Committee of the party, a mighty party like the PF, and put them under Zumani, a former civil servant who has never been a member of the Patriotic Front? Lastly, as I conclude, I want to also make it clear that the PF pronounced itself yesterday with resolutions, and amongst those resolutions, there was no resolution to take anybody to court. We have also seen in social media, I think it's a blog called the Change Makers, where an admin of the blogger said they will go to Mazabuka and be fighting an injunction. That has nothing to do with the Patriotic Front and should not be used as a scapegoat. In a nutshell, the Patriotic Front remains the anchor party. President Lulinda remains the chairman of the legitimate Tonse. In as much as the fight for the Patriotic Front can remain in the court, President Edgar Chagwarungu died as president of the Patriotic Front and nothing like PCO movement. And in addition, we will continue to respect the president, our late President Edgar Chagwarungu, and what he inherited from President Michael Chirisatata. We will not delink the PS in any form. Lastly, let the professor also answer you. How is it that they do not recognize the Patriotic Front, and yet they still recognize that Brian Mundiri is still, on the other hand, trying to contest in an entity which they believe does not exist here? And where is this PCO movement registered? Where in Zambia? What legitimizes it?
Thank you.
Man of God, as you are wrapped in the rope of that holy veil, please, I beseech you, sir, not to cherry pick and be honest with the Zambian people. All the best of luck.
Thank you. I didn't get the rest of your names other than Gabriel.
Kibombwe.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. Would you like to respond in the
I would
immediate?
like to respond straight away.
Please.
I know you, Kibombwe. You are a member of the Central Committee. Yes, you were brought in not by ECL, not by President Luongo in the committee. You are one of the supporters in the PF race for president. You support Honorable Luwinda. That's why he brought you into the Central Committee. Remember, your leader removed some Central Committee members and replaced them with some of you. You are not an original member of the Central Committee, I'm aware, and you cannot speak on behalf of the ECL concerning the ECL movement. I have clear information. President Lungu understood that the Patriotic Front was hijacked by Mao Sampa initially. Of course, Mao Sampa made peace with President Lungu, which was a good thing. He was later, however, because of that effort to reconcile with President Lungu, Mao Sampa was removed, you are aware, from the leadership of the Patriotic Front. That is being led by Mr. Honorable Chabinga. You are aware of that. You don't have the legal position. You are contesting, of course, just like you are contesting the Tonse Alliance. Honorable Kibombwe also, you don't know the inner what is going on in the top leadership of your party. You cannot deny. We have information that you, the PF, are behind what you are calling. You read it in the media, social media. You are behind, as the PF, behind this organization that is going. We got the news even this morning when they started off to go to Mazabuka. Whether they went to Mazabuka or they are doing it in Lusaka, the PF faction led by Mr. Luwinda and yourself, you may be an outsider because they can't tell everybody. You are not in the inner circle. Is behind this attempt to interfere with our Congress. All you are trying to do is to make sure that we lose our guard so that the so-called injunction is served on us. Okay? So I know on that particular point. Now, Honorable Mundubile was, yes, a member of the Central Committee. When he attended our meeting, your president and yourselves, you decided to suspend him. You have suspended him. You have even removed him from the so-called list that you have created now as part of the Tonse Alliance, which is fake. You are not part of our Tonse Alliance. We received you as PF, okay? The original Tonse Alliance was created before you joined. That's why you joined the PF faction led by Mr. Luwinda, joined. But he didn't join us as PF, because President Lungu understood that there will be legal battles if you came in as PF. You should read the constitution, which you have decided to do away with. You are saying you are going to run with the terms of reference. That means you have abandoned Tonse anyway, because those terms of reference are PF. You are basically PF, and those who are supporting you are supporting just the PF faction led by President Lubinda. Just like I supported President Lungu and other political parties, one of them or two, with you at that time, but there was no alliance that was formed. So those who have come to join you, they haven't come to join Tonse. They have come to join your faction. They will support you. We have no problem with that. As Tonse, we are continuing. And what I've been telling the nation is the truth. Is, you have been removed from Tonse Alliance. You are not part of Tonse Alliance. That the decision of the Council of Leaders is final in Tonse. If you want to appeal, you can appeal to the Congress when we meet. If you want to be reinstated, and you don't, because you are no longer members anyway. And basically, Honorable Munduvire has become, unwanted there, all because these same people are afraid of him. They don't want him to contest the leadership of the PF if they will ever hold a convention, because there's an injunction there, which is what they are trying to do on us. But please don't think we are blind. We know what is going on.
But he raises another important issue, which I would like you to clarify. Equally, this is what I thought was the status quo in as far as the chairmanship of the Tonse Alliance was concerned. He raised an issue that actually the chairmanship of the Tonse Alliance was assigned to a political party and not to an individual. Therefore, it is the Patriotic Front, led by ECL, that assumed the chairmanship of Tonse as by the fact that it was an anchor party. And so it meant that the vice president of the Patriotic Front at the time assumes the chairmanship, in this case, given Lubinda. Was that the status quo?
No, it wasn't. In the constitution of the Tonse Alliance, which they have done away with, by the way, it's clear in their communique. I think they have, because they are not.
What does it say?
What it says is that the chairman of the Tonse Alliance was President ECL, President Ejika Chagwa Lungu. Is mentioned in the constitution. Okay, there is no other provision for the Patriotic Front to provide the chairman. When President Lungu left to go for treatment, I was in Zambia, and I chaired 2 meetings. Honorable Lubinda sat on my side. I was the chairman. He came in, okay, as a leader of the Patriotic Front, but not as chairman, okay, and a member of the council. That is so. The constitution of Tonse does not recognize that the chairman will come from the Patriotic Front. It recognizes President Lungu, and in the body, okay, the preamble refers to the Patriotic Front Party, but in the body of the constitution, what is referred to is the ECL political movement. Let him deny those facts.
What does it say in the preamble?
The preamble says, okay, recognizing the Patriotic Front
as the anchor party.
But
of the Tonse Alliance. As the anchor party of the Tonse Alliance.
As a member of the Tonse Alliance. The anchor party was not alluded to the Patriotic Front. No, it was referred to the ECL movement. Okay, ECL PF political movement. You can read the constitution of the old constitution, which we have amended now. We don't have such a provision as an anchor party, or ECL as an anchor party, or ECL having 15 members.
Did you amend it because of the death of ECL?
We amended
it to amendment.
Thank you. We amended it because we needed to respond to the current dynamics. Okay, that chairmanship position was allotted to President Lungu. President Lungu was the leader of the ECL movement, and is mentioned in the document, not vice chairman vice president of the Patriotic Front or acting chairman, president of the Patriotic Front. It's not there. And he cannot claim. That's why there was battles within the alliance. If it had said the chairman will come from the PF, okay, there could have been no contention with Sean Tembo and Zuman and KBF and others, because they understood that there was no such provision. It was the vice chairman who was to act as leader of the alliance. When I came back, that was the position I resumed as leader of the alliance. Of course, PF, they did not recognize that, okay? And that is a contention, but they are no longer an issue to us. Thank you,
let's
Mr.
take some more. Yeah, let's take some more calls. Good morning.
Good morning, I guess.
Morning. Thank you very much for calling. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Mwamba,
Mwamba.
yes.
Yes, Mwamba, please go ahead.
Good morning, Pastor Pule.
Apostle, Chief Apostle Pule, good morning, Mwamba. Chawama, lesapale.
What you do, we post a command very for confusion.
Very good.
Former confusion, so I didn't PF never given their egos ground by the monarchy, over the coin. The same thing happened with Rungu. 71 never did survive, but why did you have very for me? Rungu had to campaign 3 months because of my confusion. The same confusion. Why? If a background, people they know. Even in Angola, just because of the job, he knows. He knows that Uromu is very focusing. Then you've gone ahead now, Mwapanga, each Panisha man, between you and Baba Moon. So, we know that different every day. Ask people we are ready on the ground. Then you read that you are fighting. You are taking us for granted. Otherwise, you need to show to Mingisha. We just love, we just want you to liberate us. Because to a true what is happening. Then we are joking. And let me advise, give advice to well meaning here. Let them open their spiritual eyes and see what is going in the future. Not the last minute, they want to joy. They are much wrong. I mean, you say,
yeah.
Thank you.
That's what I want.
Thank you. Let me take some more.
No, but this one is good. Maybe I prefer to answer one question at a time.
Be brief then, so that I can take as many.
Okay.
Please.
This is the position of men Zambians. Position Yawamwape. That is what the Zambians want. They don't want us to continue with the PF confusion. There are problems. He fires this one, he removes this one, that central committee. Right now, they have a lot of new central committee members, removing the ones that President Lungu left in the central committee, including this Mr. Kibombo. He was not part of the ECL central committee. Okay, and what people want is for us to move forward. We have been receiving such, encouragement. Thank you so much, Mr. Mwape. These are the Zambians who want, who stand for the truth. I am a confusion. Yaba PF Yakale. They will continue. The one who caused those problems now will let Russia na problems kulifwe. Uyuma osampa umwaiche wandi. No, the fact is that the Zambians are fed up with that. You continue as a faction, you are going nowhere. I'm telling you, you are going nowhere. You are not going to field a presidential candidate. But us as the true Tonse Alliance, who have continued, who are carrying on the vision of President Eddie Kalungu, who was our first chairman of the alliance, we are continuing with the same vision, and we have the support of the people on the ground. The people in Chawama knew that we had removed the Patriotic Front, okay, from Tonse Alliance. They still voted for our candidate, okay, who won comfortably because they believe in Tonse Alliance, not in the PF with the confusion. They can claim whatever they did. We can't, we can't fight over that. You see, the Lord Jesus, when he had sent his disciples, Zach, they to go and witness, the disciple found someone there who was also casting out devils in the name of the Lord. And the disciples stopped him. They went and reported to the Lord that we found someone who is not one of us. And he was casting out devils in your name. So we stopped him because he's not one of us. The answer of the Lord was, don't stop him. He who is with us is for us. Okay? And that is the same thing. Those who are like Wakambwili, who is campaigning in Kasama for Tonse candidate under FDD, is with us. He has no, Mr. Chipombo has not mentioned the fact that they attacked my organization, KBF and even FDD, which they claimed was their special purpose vehicle. They have said they are no longer part of their factions. Of course, we don't want to be part of your faction. We have moved on. You are our brothers. We'll meet wherever we meet. We drink coffee with you. You are not our enemies. We don't believe in the politics of violence like the PF faction believes in. You attacked Sean Tembo with your violence, the same violence that caused President Long to lose, because the people didn't want that violence to continue. Pamwape, you are right. We are moving on. The people are with us. We have the majority. The ECL political movement has the majority of people. What the faction has is just, it's an empty bag. They have no people there. The people are with us. So the formers, all the supporters of our late president are with the Tonse Alliance led by me. And Suman is our coordinator. You can't remove it.
How does that sit with you that the given Lubinda-led faction, as you are calling it, are in Kasama campaigning for...
They are not in Kasama. I corrected you.
Okay,
those who are in Kasama are ECL political movement. By the way, Mr. Kibombo, you said I didn't participate in the Chawama by-election. I spent a lot of money, more than you personally and others. The ECL, the PF didn't raise money for that, by-election. In fact, the people that led were aware that you withheld money. Mao Sampa appealed for money as, before the changes came. Nobody. He came and reported that the MPs and all the others, the Central Committee members like you, Mr. Kibombo, never gave any money. But we gave money. You can ask a big amount of money. I don't want to boast about that. In Kasama, we are supporting the by-elections there. There are reasons why we can't appear to be seen to be campaigning, because of issues which you are not aware of, and there's no need for me to be discussing personal issues which are of sensitive nature, why I didn't go there. And the same reason I'm not going to Kasama, but we have sent money there. By the way, President Hakainde didn't go and campaign in Chawama, did he? No, he didn't. But the fact is that he still remained leader of the UPND. He has not gone to campaign in Kasama, neither did he campaign in Kawambwa, but that didn't reduce his leadership role in the party. By the way, as Tonse, we are peaceful people. What happened in Chingola when our young people were incited to throw stones at the meeting which was being led by our president was wrong. No real leader that wants to be a president would want a thing like that to happen. Remember what I said, the biblical principle. And you reap what you sow. If you throw stones at others, they'll throw stones at you. So we don't condone things like that. We will do, peaceful elections. We are one family in Zambia. We are not enemies who are up to kill ourselves. We are one people, one Zambia, one nation. That's what CDP, my party, stands for. That is what the Tonse Alliance with our ECL movement we believe in. The ECL didn't want to associate himself with the violence, and those leaders of Tonse, of PF, who were known to have been violent. So all I'm saying is that we are a peaceful organization. Thank you so much.
Let me give you some comments on our Facebook page. This is William. Willie says, "Good morning, Zach and Mr. Pule. This is William from Bauleni. I'm a little bit confused. Tonse Alliance suspended PF led by Given Lubinda, and Chifumo Banda continued to work with the PF led by Given Lubinda. On the other side, work with Tonse Alliance. My question is it plan B or what?" All right. Let's quickly look at the next one. It's from Mwila Katati. Mwila Katati says, "Apostle Pule is calling other parties one-man party. Can he show us the structure of Christian Democratic Party?" The other thing is, he is claiming they won Chawama under FDD. Who was campaigning in Chawama? What resources or manpower came from his party? Again, it comes up. With all due respect, Apostle Pule is being economical with the truth. All right. Let me quickly give you another.
No, let me answer those.
This is important, mate, because those two questions, they are coming back to issues that you have already responded to.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me give you something. This one is Henry Mavimba. Says, "Good morning, Dr. Pule. The challenges with alliances in Zambia are, one, personal-driven conflicts that are not centered on policy, but rather who should lead. Two, lack of long-term policy, as most short-term gains to win elections are the norm. How do you then plan to form coherent strategy that will actually make you have a dear and, or rather a clear and sustainable future to provide leadership?"
Okay. The first one was talking about how, or one of them at least, Chifumo Banda of FDD was working with the PF. By the way, when that rally was held in Chawama, they didn't inform me. They didn't inform even our special purpose vehicle leader. So he also didn't go there. Okay. He didn't, but he was fully involved in the campaigns by mobilizing resources, organizing FDD Fitenges, which is doing now in Kasama. Is doing the same, the resources. All the campaign managers were contacting him and not Mr. Lubinda for the resources, which is supposed to have been the case if they were to hold on to the anchor party position. They never raised money for Chawama. That is the truth. Mr. Mao Sampa will tell you. There is a posting that he did on the group. They failed to raise money for the budget that was raised there. Okay? In any case, they were trying to push everything FDD, but the understanding we had is that it's not the special purpose vehicle that was to raise money. When we used Peter Chanda's NCP, Peter Chanda's had no money. Even for him to move, the alliance had to find money for him. Unlike you have at Chifumo Banda, who can buy a ticket and fly to Kasama. So basically, the Chifumo Banda leadership was impeccable. And at the same time, he didn't work with the Given Lubinda. He was in our meeting and we removed the PF, the Given Lubinda faction. It's not really, part of us, and they can impose themselves, but we can't stop them. If they are saying a good word for us, we'll receive that good word.
Would you refuse? Would you? What would be your reaction if Given Lubinda left Lusaka today, if he is in Lusaka, and went to Kasama to go and campaign for that mayor?
Now you're asking me before I answer this and any other questions.
It's just a question to support what this man is saying, to say, Given Lubinda, on the other hand, I mean, the Patriotic Front led by him was kicked out of the Tonse Alliance, but we see him, campaigning with the Chifumus and so on, and we're just because initially you said given Lovinda and his group have not gone to Kasama. But now I'm saying if they go to Kasama today to go and drum up support, would you be uncomfortable?
Zaki,
would you be uncomfortable?
There's no point to answer a hypothetical question. Chizimakambwili, they have told you, is not there as PF leader. Lovinda faction PF leader is there as part of the ECL political movement. Those who want to support us, whichever groups they are in, they are welcome to do so.
Including that of Given Lovinda.
As long as he doesn't go there as a faction leader fighting our
no, he's going there to support the FDD candidate.
Oh, yeah, good support. You know, if President Hakainde, for example, decided to support our candidate, we would welcome that. You understand what I mean,
yeah.
Zach? That's my position. If the ministers of the UPND decided our candidate is so good, they want to support him, they will be welcome.
Would you be uncomfortable if you saw him on the podium and say, as Tonse Alliance Chair, I'm appealing to all of you to cast a vote on
he has no
FDD.
right. He has no right to claim Tonse Alliance leader chairmanship. He's removed. Okay, it's removed. It's no longer with us. He has even abandoned the constitution. Okay, of Tonse Alliance.
Let me take some more calls.
Won't you allow me to answer this gentleman?
Okay, please briefly, please.
Mentioned,
yes,
earlier on, okay, you rightly said we contributed money. We are contributing money. It's not everything. Sometimes you have to be a strategist. Sometimes you don't have to do every common thing everyone does. Okay, stand on the podium. We have people. Our members did campaign in
Jawama.
Yeah. My Secretary General, Dr. Mukuka, was on the campaign trail. He was there on the nomination day. Okay, our members were there. Okay, to support our candidates. So it's not correct to say CDP wasn't there. CDP is here, and we have people. Our structures. We are strong. We have structures throughout the country. We had our Congress. We had people coming from all the 10 provinces, including Northern Province, Luapula, Mchinga, Eastern Province, Southern Province. We had people from Western, Northwestern Province, Central Province, Copperbelt Province, and of course, Lusaka. So we are well represented as a party. In many cases, we are a legal organization, not the one that is can't. If we want to field a presidential candidate, if I want to run as a president under CDP, I will be allowed because we are a registered party, not Lovinda going to run on PF. They have to look, he has to look for another vehicle. And it won't be FDD. FDD is with us. And in any case, you have this organization has disassociated itself from the special purpose vehicle. They did that yesterday. You read their communique, but the candidate we have is under FDD. Pebula, we are saying to our people in Kasama, please vote for our candidate in Kasama, our mayoral candidate on the FTD ticket. I want to say that while PF was with us, we never, I mentioned before, I know the last question is talking about our strategy, our policies. We never discussed policies. We were quarreling within the alliance. Whenever they, even they would make a position within the PF, but they brought those, when they came in the alliance, they differed, okay? And we could just watch, and when we wanted to make a decision, they would connive and say, we shall not approve, for example, the memorandum of understanding. We shall amend the constitution and postpone the meeting. They will have connived already with the numbers, and they will carry the day. But that's not the case now. We are peaceful, we are focused, and of course, we know they can plant one or two people to cause problems. Like they are trying to stop us from going to the convention by taking up an injunction against us. And we are ready, our lawyers are ready to fight that injunctions. That I can tell you.
Let me take another call. Good morning.
Yeah.
Umutende mkwai. Tulifya bwino.
Bapita chireshe. Mkwai bachireshe.
Ararimori mumurera ndakone chibemba. Fweba vota bengi, ni fweba mugombo, ni fweba charishiva na nesukuru for dia.
From mkwai.
Batwelele ko mkwai bachireshe na but poseni po mkwai.
Tezi tulishe fisungu. Ukuisa kuili ashiva zaki muretere mwa chitabu ino kuita Adani Pule.
Mkwai.
Adani Pule inende fo kuishiva. Murelanda PF shani uko. Twalikwata mukashenu kumumbi pili, umfuire aliko ninani kane, then kulina ba maketi zulu, bonse baba mutonse. Ishishi the position yepo mwala babika babandi. Leo umfomulelanda sepali umunenso uyu munyene fo akukasama munenso uyu mundu bire na simbiko. Ero nako peni hapo. Make ko mukomaile sana pale abantu babiri. Kusherupa tulipo nangu chishi chirechitika. Because Zambians, they are reading and mufeso bareland. Government ilipo ya wanu temwe. Mweba karengesha nga babwerera poni mweba. Muli ba Christian, muli ba bishop, muli ba professor na fimbiko. Why can't you sit down, please? Mwaita mupashi wa mushiro mwalongana mulya. Le mupashi wa mushiro amwikira mwapanga ekintu kimu. Sisi zile shupa na totera. Tuliaba kalipasana pa ground yesu de mso mule time kuntanshu.
Tuatasha mkwai bachireshe mkwai.
Le kanga suke.
Quickly.
Tuilabako. Mkwai mwalanda fibwino bachireshe mkulu. Nichi umulumendo Isaki achirafu afinde landa fechisungu nga wachiranje batirandako mukalamba
mkwai
ne chibemba
mkwai
kanshi mkwai ifyo mwalanda chishinka mama kebi sulu kuchibemba tini
zulu twala misominisha
tusuminishe yaba tusuminishe naba mama mumbipiri
mkwai
inenda landa nabo nejo fyachitike finali landa nabo makebi. I invited him to come. He was scheduled to come to my house to meet me. But because I was held back by the meeting, I was Tonse meeting yotwakwete kunchende kuine kwa kwatira Makebi Zulu office. I decided that na unchindika muntu wandi uli muntu musuma lekanyi sefye ku office kumwankwe kumobe eko na ile kuli akuine twalanshanya nabo nanomba tuchiri tulelanda nabo nangu banga babika abafike amala yamushi mumuko shukwe bati balebomba na balubinda na abeshi babene chishinko kwe bati kuli balubinda takuli uko baleya iyo teti bawina ama elections balubinda na group yabo tabakwatana ne chilonganyino chaba ntwani cha PF bali bapokolola ba UPND weko abana chabinga alitwana na party ya PF kuli ba UPND bali panga ekitulera Alliance mkwai tabakwate chilonganyino chilya nangu banga babika mu ba Makebi Sulu ati ni ba ntwani ni ba leader ni wa mu central committee ya mwamona tabawikire mu na mukachilonganyino akaba bashelena kwatika ka bufyati na bena na bakwata atonse yawo tabakwete tonse fo bakwete tonse nifwe twalebomba na balungu twalishiwe nefyo balungu balefwa ya balishiwe kutela iyi ntwani iyi PF balisenda tabakalekeleko yo babuteko bakainde na bachabinga bali umfwana na mu parliament ebo bayishiba ni bachabinga na kuchipani cha buteko yuko balembesha ama political parties tababeshiwa balubinda iyo na balungu tababeshiwe na sampawu ni watwele pate ya PF kuli ba PF bali tabamushiba nomba bali mfunyako ni chabinga bayishiba kanshi mkwai tuikatane fye bonse pamo tubombele pamo nga mwe bantu beso on the ground we know mwe bantu mule supporta Tonse Alliance iyo nde tungulula action ya lubuli ya balubinda balefu abalete no lubuli na kulifo twakane fyoyo lero ninswanga fya mwalanda lesa weso ale tutungulula ifintu fika afya bwino mkwaina atotera bakileshe bapita kileshe mkwaina.
One more before we close is Mr. Gabriel Kibombwe, who comes back on Facebook to clarify something, but then I will give you an opportunity to respond back. He says, Zach, kindly inform Apostle Pule that I am not a new MC in PF and I was appointed by ECL. Secondly, Honorable Chimba Kambwili was delegated to Kasama, President Given Lubinda. Thirdly, the campaign was funded by Given Lubinda, Maus Waliasampa, and Chimba Kambwili. A campaign report shows who contributed what.
Okay, if my name didn't appear, you ask Mr. Chifumu Banda, Gabriel Kibombwe. Mwe pushe, nishinga na chite contribute. Nangu nishinga nchite contribute kukasama. As a leader of Tonse Alliance and the Christian Democratic Party. Okay? What I mean, you are not Wakibombwe. Tamwalimo mu Council of Leaders. Walungu taba misontere mu Council of Leaders. Ilio balubinda ba mifumishe. Okay? Ba fumishe mo, abo balungu ba sontere. Nga ba mumbipiri. Okay? Ba mumbipiri was in Tonse Alliance, Council of Leaders. Naba muila. But they were appointed, Balungu appointed them, but Balubinda bali bafumishemo ba mumbipiri. Nga wale mulelande chinkefe mulande. Na imove ine ili wa miletelemo, tamwalimo ili Balungu balipo, nga member of the Council of Leaders Tonse Alliance. Okay? And you can say, abo batatu eba chite campaign that is being economic with the truth. How about Chifumu Banda? I put more money than those your leaders you are mentioning. But Chimbakamwili is welcome in Kasama. And we are talking to each other. We are not enemies. When we differed on the group, we called each other and said, there is nothing why we should be enemies. So basically, Akambwili is there out of goodwill, okay? Out of goodwill to support our candidate. We recognize him as a member of the PF-ECL movement. Thank you so much.
Professor?
Let me wind up.
Yes, Professor, you've got a minute to conclude.
Thank you very much. You see, the confusion Yam PF faction led by Mr. Lubinda still continues. You ask them, when are you going to select your leader? Okay? Because Mr. Lubinda is a de facto leader. He has said himself. He doesn't, that's why he's removing other contestants like Mr. Honorable Brian Mundu. Okay? Tabalipo na Central Committee yenu. Bonse wa kampiongo. Wa mtoto weka fire. Na bachisanga bantwani ba lawyer ba pate na bene abafumyamo na mu group yabo pantu bale mulekati ba supporta mundubire nangu amtoto kafana abo bale fwa okwiminina u president bale fwa ya abantu awanga bafumya pa chifulo yo kanshi mu bantu besumu tube abaikatana mu Tonse Alliance ifyo se balubinda na group yabo faction yabo balelanda na bakibomba abo batuminyo kwisa kuti balande mkwai kula wako fita pali ifyo filiyo nichilimu atiwa watabula pa kuimina watu alibafumyamo balefu yokulisha confusion ilaine baluisha na wachawinga na ifo balefu watu wikemo balefu aya ukutila bafulunga nyeno na my elections yesu na ntwani yabo muntu wabo bemishe kwebati achite injunction. We are ready to fight that injunction and we are ready, we are moving forward. Either myself and for 2 minutes, pali chairmanship, no kubanga presidential candidate wa chipani cha Tonse Alliance, and we choose a special purpose vehicle which we shall use at the time after the elections, we shall also work on that. God bless you. While we are trusting in the Lord, let's remain united as a country. We are one people, one Zambia, one nation. Let's not fight like we are enemies to destroy each other. Politics is just a game. That's why they say there are no permanent enemies. Mamuna umwache wandichanda ya lusa kuchawama. Amuna tapali chakwe. Bamusembele kati bwela. Mwome na wa PF. But takuliko oko chile afu PF takuliko ilea. What is moving forward is the Tonse Alliance that was created by President Eddie Kalungu with me as the first chairman of the alliance. Nena walilepo intunguluchu wa Tonse na nde epo nchini nde extract pa Saturday nde luisho kutila nkabo elelepo nga leader wa Tonse Alliance. Mkwai tulibanga ndaimo. Let's be united. Let's not fight politics of insults, politics of hatred, and the politics of violence. That's not what God wants for us in Zambia. God wants us to be united. God wants us to remember we are one Zambia, one nation. Great wisdom by our founding father, President Kaunda. Thank you so much.
Professor and Chief Apostle Daniel Pule, Chairperson of the Tonse Alliance, I thank you for coming today, and we can only wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. God bless you, listeners.
Great. Well, to you, our listeners, we say thank you very much for having followed our conversation, and more sincerely, I thank our partner radio stations who carried this program live on their various respective radio stations, and those are Isunga FM in Senga Hill, Northern Province, Katete FM in Eastern Province, ZFM in Kapiri, Spice FM in Kabwe and Central Province, Platinum Radio in Ndola and Copperbelt, as well as Tuta FM in Mansa and the rest of Luapula Province. From all of us here is take care of yourselves and more so of each other. Bye-bye.
Tune in next